Welcome to your mat class, and today you are only using your mat. So go ahead and roll out your mat in a nice spot, and let's get started with our warm-up. For your warm-up, we find a tabletop posture, which is hand under shoulder, knee under hip, and you are shoulder distance, hip distance apart here. Spine starts long, and then we add a few cat-cows here at our own pace. So start to lift your spine. Core engages, we look towards our legs, and then we switch. So tailbone, head, lift, head. And making sure that when we go into our cow, which is the one where we look forward, our shoulders go down and back, so they're no longer by our ears. And then when we add our cat, which you should look like a little Halloween cat with a rounded spine, you're looking in between your own arms towards your legs. Good. So taking a few at your own pace here. Excellent. The next time your spine is back to center, hold at center. Left hand, right leg, so opposite arm and leg. Tap opposite ends of your mat. So don't worry about height. Opposite ends, come back to center. And switch. And switch. Your goal is to really control through your core, through your abdominals here, to not let yourself rock dramatically side to side, warming up the core, warming up the entire body. Tap, come back to center for 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Find tabletop. Now, at any point, if you need to stop, shake out your hands, you're welcome to do so. This time, instead of tapping the edge of your mat, we add a little bit of height. So you reach opposite directions, roughly the same height as your spine, roughly. Come back, switch. Now, if that is not for you and your balance today, you stick with the taps of the edges of your mat. You are more than welcome to do one at a time. So just lift the arm, just lift the leg. You find the option that works best for you today. We lift our core, our waistline away from the ground the entire time. We lift our chest away from the floor so that our shoulder blades are not flying away. And it's not about height, but reaching opposite directions. Opposite directions. So you're not trying to kick the ceiling above you. Out, back to center. 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Find center. Give the hands a little shake, shake. One more part of the warm-up. Toes to the floor. Lift your core, lift your hips, lift your knees. You hold the bear stance here. So bear stance is hand under shoulder, knees under hips, but your knees are lifted. And you hold for 4, hips, shoulders, same height, or hips a little higher. 3, 2, gently lower. If you need to, a child's pose with knees apart or close. Hands, you can give them a nice little twirl here to, shake out the wrists. All right, we get to lay down next. Now that your core is warmed up, laying down on your mat, spine is long, and feet heels in line with sit bones roughly, we create a head cradle for some laying core. Now for your head cradle, pancake hands, so one on top of the other at the base of your skull. Now from the abdominals, we add our upper abdominal curl. So your head, neck, and shoulders come off the mat. The core is engaging in towards your spine, up towards your ribs. You should not be creating a mountain. So here's what a mountain core looks like. Flatten your core. In, up. Proper core movement. I like to call it like a pita. Your core looks like a pita. Correct. If it looks like a loaf of bread, not correct. We want a pita core right now. Feet just relaxed on the ground. You should be able to see your elbows in the corner of your vision, and your head, neck, and shoulders, they're not doing all the work right here. Your core is, right? Tension-free booty, so we're not over gripping. And we hold for 4, looking just above your own knees. 3, 2, now take your left shoulder, lift it up and over more. So going across your body. Hold here, lower body hasn't moved for 4, 3, 2, come back to center. Again, lift up and over, hold 4, we're still doing left side, 3, 2, come back to center. Again, lift up and over with the left for 4, 3, 2, one more time before we switch sides. Hold the lift for 4. Left hip stays grounded. 3, 2, center. If you need to, you take a reset at any time and then come back up. And we lift our right shoulder now like it's aiming outside our left thigh, keeping our right hip grounded for 2. And then come back to center. Again, right shoulder. The left one stays down. It's only the right side that's lifting up and over for 4, 3, 2, center. Again, right shoulder for 4, 3, 2, center. Last one before we put it together for 4, 3, 2, center. Reset if you need to. Remember, the lift comes from the abdominals. Engage the core. Now we alternate. So you twist one way, left shoulder off the mat, center. You twist the other way, right shoulder off the mat. Focus on grounding the lower body so that the hip is not leaving the floor. Center, up and over, center, up and over, center. We have 4, 3, 2, one more, center, and lower. All right, lower body. Bring it to a tabletop. So tabletop, roughly. Knee over hip, shin parallel to the floor. So that means ankle, knee, same height in the air. Now, if your knees are kind of past your hip line, that's okay as well. Here, or a little bit closer to you, perfectly fine. Create your head cradle, come up. Again, your upper abdominal curl. Abs are engaged in towards your spine, up towards your ribs. You can see your elbows in the corner of your vision. Now, one leg at a time. Goes out long. Your toes are aiming for where ceiling and wall meet. The opposite leg, knee is coming in towards your own eyeballs, so they stay hip distance parallel. Then switch. 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 Now, of course, you can do it with head, neck, and shoulders on the floor below you. You're still engaging your core. You're still reaching. Now, think of like your legs are dragging through mud here. The opposition as you reach, pull. Reach, pull for 4, 3, 2, one more. Lower for a moment. Reset. Come back up to your tabletop and your upper abdominal lift. I bet you figured out what's happening next. Yes. Start with the legs. So bring one in as the other extends long. Now, the knee that's in towards you, twist your opposite shoulder towards it. Like your shoulder is going outside the thigh. You hold for 4, 3, 2, center, switch, hold, 4, hips stay grounded, 3, 2, center, twist, hold. We will pick up the pace. 4, 3, 2, center, twist, hold. 4, 3, 2. You ready? Here we go. Center, twist, center, twist. It is not about bringing your elbow outside your leg. Think shoulder instead. And twist and center. You have 4, 3, 2, one more, center, hug. You can hug for a moment. You can stretch opposite directions, whatever feels good for you and your body here. And then you get to stay laying down. We go into bridges. Now bridges, really great total body move. Your heels are in line with your own sit bones. So parallel hip distance legs. Your booty, when you lift it, it doesn't have to be crazy high. It can be a nice hover. So think about a fist distance between your booty and the mat below you. This way, we create a long spine and a knit rib cage, which is crucial for great core engagement here. Your lower body, knees can be over or slightly behind your ankle. All right? Play around with which one feels best for you. If you need a mirror, go right ahead and use one. I'd highly recommend it. but we don't want our knees dramatically past our ankles. Knees and toes are pointing at the wall in front of you. Arms, just let them relax next to you on the ground. Nice open chest, open shoulders, tension-free arms here. We start with small, little lifts. So your glutes, hamstrings, core, control the lift. Now, if you'd like, you can do hands to hips so that you know if one side is lifting before the other, if your core is engaging. It's a great way to know if any muscle is engaging. You touch the muscle gently and it helps remind your brain, yep, here is where I should be working. Tiny lifts, tiny lifts. For 4, 3, you're looking above you. 2, good, 1 more, and then hold your bridge. A few spinal articulations because they feel so good. So start by lowering around like tank top line, mid back, lower back. The hips have touched the ground. You're welcome to rock if you'd like. And then again, the tailbone, the lower back, the mid back, only coming up to shoulder blade. And then again, so you're using a lot of core. This is a good one to do hands to core, hands to hips, because sometimes we do have a side that lowers before the other. And you're really finding the core muscles here to help separate each vertebra. It also just feels so nice on the back. In your next one, come into your bridge, find your original bridge. So the hover again, we hold here for 4, 3, 2, your feet. Lift one heel, bring it back to the floor. Lift the other heel, bring it back to the floor. Now at any point, if any of the add-ons are not for you, don't do them. Come back to the original pulses and holds or the spinal articulation that we did not too long ago. So one heel down, the other heel, bring it to the mat. For 4, we will pick up the pace. 3, even weight in the ball of the toe, ball of the foot and the toes. Now we pick up the pace. So lift right, switch left. Really focusing on the core, the back of the legs here, so we're not bouncing or falling side to side. So ball of the foot is the area below the toes. If you ever wore high heels, the area that probably really annoyed you, that spot. And our toes, they're not over gripping the ground. You lift and switch, switch. 4, 3, 2, 1 more here. Now both feet come back to the floor. Bring your feet maybe an inch or 2 closer to your own booty. From here, hover both heels. So they can be high, they can be low, but they're not collapsing left and right. So think straight off the floor here. Hello, 5, 5. And then tiny hip lifts. Well, that was 5. She's my youngest cat. Now that we have our heels off the mat, you might be getting a little bit extra quad engagement because you no longer have the heel on the floor that you can press through to help get extra back of the leg engagement. So keep that in mind. Tiny lifts, core stays engaged. You have 4, 3, 2, hold your bridge, both heels same time. Tap the floor and lift. Tap and lift, tap and lift. Tap, lift. 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Hold the heel lift if it's available. Melt into the floor bone by bone, bone by bone. You may relax the feet once the spine is to the floor. You can hug, you can stretch opposite directions, whatever feels nice for you. Roll over onto your right side for clam. Yes, getting it over with nice and early. Now, the secret to clam, a nice long spine here, so a good trick is to line up the back of you with the back edge of your mat. So, crown of the head, shoulders, hips, and then heels lined up. So your knees are towards the front edge of your mat. Your right side of your body that's lying on the floor, engage your waist. Keep the hips stacked and looking in front of you instead of down at your legs. Clam. Our top leg is our working leg. And we rotate, so it's not a full leg lift. Some part of your foot stays touching your other foot. So a rotation, just like a clamshell. Rotate and lower. So an external rotation and lower. Now, it might be a very small range of motion. That's okay. Your goal is to not let your hips rock backwards. They stay squared. So a nice trick is to do a seatbelt arm, so across your waistline, or hand to top hip. If you need more balance, a kickstand arm. Just a gentle hand in front of you. And I strongly recommend having the spine completely here on the mat instead of propping yourself up on your arm. One, let's give our shoulders a nice little break. You can be here if that works for you. But again, if this bothers your shoulder, your neck, oops, there goes my drink. Join me laying completely down for our clam and lower. So the external and lower. You are targeting outer glute, outer thigh, a lot of core here. For 4, 3, 2. In your next one, hold your lift for 4, 3, 2. Now from the outer thigh, outer glute, initiate a tiny lift. Tiny lift, 1 to 2 inches max. Press, press. Imagine you have a loop band around your outer thigh. You press into it for 4, 3, 2. One more. Bring the leg back to start. We add in an internal rotation. So your knee is tapping your bottom knee. Your foot has lifted. Now switch. So heel to heel, knee lifts. Knee to knee, foot to foot. Knee to knee, foot to foot. Internal, external rotation. So really targeting the entire glute here, core being challenged. But again, we're not rocking our hips. So do the seatbelt arm, do the hand to hip. Make your movement smaller. Engage your core deeper, really lift away from the floor. I like to call this a little mouse house, that you're lifting your obliques away from the floor here. Tap and tap, tap. Now what are we supporting? We are working on glute strength, hip stability here. Tap and tap. 4, 3, 2. One more. Gently lower. Let's do side 2. Your body already knows what's going to happen, so there'll be no surprises, right? Right. So line up the back edge of you, back edge of your mat. Spine is long, heels roughly in line with your sit bones. So what I mean is that they're not at the front edge of your mat. They're closer to the back edge of your mat, but it doesn't have to be perfect back edge. We're now lifting the left side of our waist away from the floor below us, hips and shoulders squared. And we start with the external rotation. So knee lifts, some part of your foot stays connected, and we lower. So we float, we lower, core stays lifted, we lower. So we lift and lower, just like a clam. So the clam has a hinge, so do you. And the kickstand arm, hand to hip, seatbelt arm, whatever works best for you, your body today. I do a combination of all of them. We lift, we lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Now it's perfectly normal, maybe for one side to have a different range than the other, a different strength than the other. So don't worry about it if that's this side for you. And that was Maple that just wandered through. Lift and lower. Your 4, 3, 2. Hold your lift for 4, the little movements in 3, 2. Here we go. Small lift. Small lift. Put your hand, your fingertips on your booty corner. So where the corner of your glute meets your leg, that's where the movement should initiate from. Tiny lift for 4, 3, 2. One more set, and then we start our rotation. So our knee to knee, foot to foot, internal, external, internal, external, without the hip rocking side to side, back and forth. Core stays lifted. There's a lot of waistline control when doing the clam movement. Tap and tap, tap and tap. One side, then the other. Tap and tap. Remember the trick to make the movement smaller. Take it slower if you need to, and deeper core engagement. For 4, 3, 2. And then gently lower. You can give the glute a little love. Push yourself to seated. A great way to help give the glutes a little stretch is a set of diamond legs, so feet together. And then how far your legs are is up to you. So closer to you with your feet will be a deeper stretch. Beautiful. You can give the legs a little shake, shake, shake if they need it. And then flip to all fours. Remember the bear from earlier is back. So we are focusing on planks now. Some of them you will be able to do from your forearms. If so, I will let you know. But we are starting in a bear stance. So hand under shoulder, knees under hips. Bring your toes to the floor below you. Now, I like to use 2 fists sometimes when doing planks. What that will do is keep your wrist in a straight line, which is less of an irritating position. So if the planks bother your wrist, try 2 fists or come down to the elbows. So we hover. If you're doing it from your elbows, you have parallel forearms, and it might look a little different, but it is still a plank. So you hold for 4, 3, 2, gently bring your knees back to the mat. We build on. So keep it in mind, if you need less, you come back to the original plank. We just did your bear lift. Here we go. Lift and hold first for 4. Core in towards the spine, up towards the ribs. 3, 2. Now send your hips to the ceiling. Keep the spine long. Looking towards your own feet for 4. It's a pike. 3, 2. Come back to your bear shape, gently lower. Now, if you're doing it from the elbows, same movements, yeah. All right, this time I'll do elbows, but same setup. If you're on the forearms like me, parallel forearms, please. Hover the knees, and it's always acceptable to have the hips a little bit higher than your shoulders, as long as your spine is long and not rounding. You hold first for 4. We will add on 3, 2. You add your pike. Yes, you can do a pike from your forearms for 4. 3, 2, come into your bear shape, hold 4, 3, 2, step your right foot back, step your left foot back, now you're in a full plank for 4, 3, 2, step in, gently lower. All right, we have one more, final plank coming up that puts all the pieces together. Here we go, find your bear shape, holding center for 4, 3, 2, you add your pike, hold 4, 3, 2, coming into your bear, hold 4, 3, 2, step your right foot back, left foot back, hold 4, 3, 2, in, hold 4, hold 3, 2, gently lower. Don't smash your knees on the ground. Add your child's pose if you'd like. Hips back, long arms. You can let your head rest. Take your time bringing yourself up to seated. Don't get lightheaded. A nice shoulder roll. Look side to side. Shoulder rolls, down and back. And then the hands, if it feels nice, a nice little twirl. Look left, look right over your shoulders. Thank you for coming to your mat-based class today. If you're looking for more classes that are all mat-based with minimal props, you have found the right place. So don't forget to subscribe and check out my other classes here, and let me know what other ones you want to see in the comments.